Hi, I'm Charlie Starr. The video you are about to watch is part of my free course, How to Read a Birth Chart. Signing up is easy. Simply subscribe to my channel, turn on the notification bell, and shoot me an email to the address in the description box below, letting me know you want to be enrolled. I will reply with a welcome email, including the syllabus and other free course materials. Then head on over to my channel page and find the How to Read a Birth Chart free course playlist. Hit play and follow the step-by-step instructions to become a true birth chart master. And now, back to this video. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, and if you're taking my course, welcome back to my course. In this video, we're going to be talking about the planet Venus and what Venus means in your chart. We're going to start by going over some mythology surrounding Venus to get an idea of what she's all about and what her energy is. Then we're going to take a look at just some basic astronomy surrounding the planet of Venus and gather some information about that. Thirdly, we're going to be talking about what specifically Venus represents in the birth chart. And then finally, we're going to be using some examples of what Venus in the birth chart can manifest itself as, and we'll be talking about what signs Venus rules. All right, there's a couple different stories about how Venus originated. One has Kronos being her father through a story that I won't go into, but essentially she arises from the sea foam, and another story has her being the daughter of Jupiter and Dione. In either of these cases, Venus becomes known as the goddess of love and beauty. The best type of love that Venus embodies would be pleasure or desire. Venus has the quality of attraction. This is what gets her to be known as the goddess of love and beauty and prosperity. But this really has to do with desire. The component that Venus really brings to the table is that of attraction and that of pleasure. In most of mythology, she plays the role of a jealous goddess who feels threatened by the beauty and the attention that a human being is getting. She feels threatened by their beauty and by the amount of attention that this person is getting. That shows up time and time again with Venus. This doesn't make sense when you define Venus as love in the concept that we generally think of love, but it does make sense when you think of Venus when it comes to the concept of desire, the concept of attraction, because this is what leads to envy, essentially, is when you are looking at something and you are desiring it for yourself and you are wanting it for yourself and you're trying to attract it to yourself. There's so many different ways that you can define love. Love is a very broad term, and throughout mythology, we see Venus being the mother of different forms of love. She is the mother of Cupid, who is the god that really embodies romantic love as we feel it, the passion and the devotion that comes from such a connection. And she is also said to be the mother of Eros, which is more of a divine type of love. She is also the mother of Hermaphroditus, Hermes being the father, and this child and this story of Hermaphroditus really has a lot to do with androgyny. This child is essentially two-sexed or intersexed, and so we also see that Venus plays a significant role when it comes to gender and gender identities. All right, so astronomy of Venus. Venus is a planet that is actually closest to our planet, planet Earth, and is actually also pretty close in size to our planet. This makes Venus our sister, and we can see right away that Venus plays a role in relationships because Venus is our partner planet. Venus never goes more than 48 degrees away from the sun in the birth chart, and so that also plays a role when we're looking at where Venus is in somebody's chart. Venus is kind of like Mercury, always going to be hanging around the sun in one way or another, like I said, with the farthest out being 48 degrees. Venus's environment on the surface of Venus is very sulfuric, very acidic, very cloudy, very gaseous, even though Venus does have a hard surface kind of like our own. But what does Venus really represent in the birth chart? Remember, Venus, from the stories of mythology and Venus's proximity to our Earth, Venus does play a role in our chart when it comes to relationships, especially when it comes to what we're attracted to, what we are wanting to attract, what we find romantic, what we find desirable, and what we find pleasurable. So remember, Venus is the planet of pleasure and attraction. And this has to do mostly with people and our relationships and what type of people we're attracted to and what types of things we're attracted to in a relationship. But this also has to do with pleasure in general, the senses being indulged. This can play a role in your relationship towards the material world. So I found that the sign is generally the biggest indicator of describing what a particular person is drawn to or attracted to, and especially their relationship with relationships and with possessions. But also the house that it falls into does play a role. It's a little bit more of a minor role from what I've discovered in my personal experience. The sign does say a lot more, but the house does add another layer to that. So Venus also being the planet or the goddess of beauty, this plays a role in symmetry and artistic creation. Depending on where Venus is in a particular person's chart, this can make somebody highly creative, but we're all creative in some way, shape, or form. So again, the Venus placement can indicate where and how somebody is creative. Some examples of Venus placements. Venus in Gemini, I've noticed that a lot of Venus in Gemini people are creative writers. They love poetry, they love storytelling, they do all sorts of creative work when it comes to writing, when it comes to words, when it comes to vocal expression. These people also tend to love music. So that's another expression of the type of pleasure that this person is attracted to, because Gemini does have to do with language and words. I've noticed that Venus in Cancer people tend to be quite nostalgic. They also tend to return to lovers, ex-boyfriends, ex-girlfriends, etc. from the past. There is a nostalgia that seems to play a role in what that person finds romantic and desirable, because Cancer is the sign of the past, the sign of the roots, the sign of something that came from back there. So to have Venus in Cancer, this is going to make a person rather sentimental. Cancer is also a water sign, so this person could be a very emotional lover. They may be attracted to emotional intimacy more than like a Venus in Gemini is going to be more attracted to cerebral stimulation. Venus in Gemini people tend to need a lot of mental stimulation, a lot of interesting conversation. That is going to be more what they're attracted to. They're more tend to be like sapiosexual, where a Venus in Cancer is going to more want a romantic dinner, because Cancer does also have to do with food and nourishment. So this person is going to find like they're going to want to like cook for you. Venus in Cancer is more of that type of energy. I'll cook for you, I'll wine and dine you, I'll romance you. It can be very romantic, very emotional, very like slow dancing in the kitchen type of energy. Okay, Venus in the second house can help bring money into somebody's financial situation. It can help them have more balanced finances. Another way that this can express itself is that the person uses their powers of attraction and sexuality in order. Venus as a planet that represents someone's sexual or gender identity, this can be most influenced, I would say, by how Venus is aspected by other planets in the chart. So for example, Venus being aspected by the planet Uranus, this can make somebody have a alternative or progressive gender identity or sexual orientation. I've seen this a lot. They also may just have unconventional relationship patterns. So I've seen this in the charts of a lot of polyamorous people, a lot of gender fluid people, a lot of, bisexual or gay people. If you have Venus, say, being opposed by Saturn, this could manifest itself as the person feeling that money is always tight, that money is hard to come by because Saturn has to do with boundaries and restrictions, and oppositions can feel very oppressive towards the financial situation. There may be a sense that the person is running out of time when it comes to love and when it comes to securing a match. This person just may overall experience a level of distance or coldness when it comes to, lovers. They also may experience longevity and may be more prone to commitments. Depending on how they are interacting with this aspect, they may also have a fear of commitments because it's in opposition. Saturn is oppressing their Venus, right? So you can see how Venus expresses itself in so many different ways. Venus in the second house also can give somebody a sweet tooth because Venus is also associated with sweets and sugary things, because it's like when we take medicine, what do we do to make it palatable? We essentially coat it in sugar. Our pills are coated with sugar. Just a spoonful of sugar helps the medicine go down. That is the association of Venus being associated to sugar. A couple other examples. Where Venus is in the chart, I've noticed plays a big role in how creative this person tends to be. If Venus is a ruling planet of one of the career houses, or if Venus is actually in one of the career houses, that would be the 2nd, the 6th, or the 10th house, or if Venus is, say, conjunct the AC or the MC, which we'll get into what those are in later videos. This can make a person very creative with their work. So this is the work that they do to make money. This is what's very visible. This is what people know them for. They are creators. The sign that Venus is in is going to indicate how this person is creative. Venus is in an earth sign. It tends to make people work with their hands. So these are the people that make furniture. These are the people that do wood burning, design, architecture. Architecture could also be Venus in Libra, because Libra has to do with the symmetry and artistic design that humanity specifically brings to the table. So this really does have to do with art. Venus in Pisces can make someone attracted to or creative when it comes to photography or film or painting. Also, Venus can describe the quality of person that person is attracted to. So Venus in Pisces could also be attracted to psychic people. They may also end up being in relationships with people that are mentally ill or mentally abnormal. Also, let's see, what else? Attracted to nurses, nursing, people in the medical profession, people in the drug industry. I've seen this have an effect where somebody was in a relationship with someone that was they worked in medicine, they worked in pharmaceuticals. This is another expression of Pisces. So that's another quality. There's another way that the Venus sign can manifest itself, is describing the type of person that they're attracted to being in relationships with. Venus in Aquarius is generally attracted to people that are a little bit unique. They also may be attracted to somebody who is very social. This person may also really need a lot of space. Aquarius is ruled by Saturn. It does have to do with boundaries and personal space. So this person may need a lot of space, a lot of autonomy, a lot of freedom in their relationships. Keep in mind that Venus doesn't symbolize just one of those things. And when you find out a way that Venus is expressing itself in your life, that is not the thing that Venus is doing. Venus is doing so many different things in your life. So for example, if you are that person who has Venus in Pisces and you are married to somebody who works in medicine, that is not the only expression of your Venus in Pisces. Also, where is that Venus in Pisces in your chart? This is going to add another layer. Also, what's your relationship to money? What's your relationship to pleasure? What does that say about how you desire and engage with the senses, right? So there's so many different ways that this expresses itself, and this is also something that can evolve and change and grow to a different form of expression over time and at different points throughout your life. So don't limit yourself when you find out one thing that your Venus means in your chart. Keep it in the back of your mind, because there's always going to be more ways that this pops up. Venus in the first house, especially near the ascendant, generally makes somebody very symmetrical in the face. It makes them very attractive towards many different people. It kind of gives them that little like glittery beauty, shine, like glow that Venus tends to bring to the table. Venus in the 12th, this has a potential to make somebody have secret lovers or be more private about their love life, about their pleasure. This more has to do with indulging behind the scenes. Same with Venus in the 8th house. Venus in the 8th house may also have a lot to do with sharing resources. An expression of this could be that the Venus in the 8th house really loves to go in on something together. They might be more likely to purchase a home with a partner, because this is the house of shared resources. Venus is also a benefic, which means that Venus can bring good luck to wherever Venus's placement is. So you could also find that this person with Venus in the 8th house is kind of blessed with good luck when it comes to their partner's assets and how they benefit from their partner's assets. Venus in the 5th house is the house of creativity. So this person could be very, very creative in their self-expression. This could be a very important part of their chart. This person can derive a lot of pleasure from creative self-expression. The sign is going to indicate more what type of creative expression they're going to do. All right, what signs does Venus rule? Venus rules two different signs. We have Venus ruling Taurus and Venus ruling Libra. Taurus is an earth sign. This has to do with our values and it has to do with our resources. This is where the sensualness of Venus comes in. This is where the pleasure aspect of Venus comes in, and also where the creative aspect of Venus comes in, because Taurus is associated to the Mother Earth and the resources of Mother Earth and how she creates and sustains all of physical life. Libra is an air sign, a cardinal air sign, and this has to do with Venus's qualities when it comes to relationships. Libra is the relationship sign. It's also the sign of beauty and attraction and symmetry. This is symbolized by the scales. The scales have to do with balancing something out. What we find attractive as humans a lot of the time has to do with symmetry and balance and harmony, agreeableness, the desirableness that Venus as a ruling planet of Libra brings to the table. This has so much to do with attracting people towards us, attracting the right people, the right energies, working in harmony, having synastry with another person. This is all Venus in Libra. Okay, I did wear this shirt because it's glittery. Venus in Libra is also very glittery, very shimmery, because it has to do with attraction and beauty. So this was kind of my like little shout out to my Venus video, was putting on this top. I always get compliments on this top when I wear it, when I go places. People are always like, ooh, I like your top. It gets attention, okay? And that is what Venus really is about, especially as the ruling planet of Libra. Okay, you guys, I hope you really enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. And in the next video, we're going to be talking about the planet Mars, which is the planet that opposes all of Venus's signs. This is kind of the, antithesis, the other polarizing side of Venus's qualities. It's going to be hot, going to be exciting. So stay tuned, keep watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.